Hello guys, it's me, the underrated UltaMatE Joker, here with the second episode of Ultimate Defenses, where I take something that's hated by a decent percentage of people and I defend it. This episode I'll be defending the Duke controller. For those of you who don't know, the Duke controller was the very first Xbox controller ever. It was even unveiled with the console back in 2001. But yeah, on to defending from the complaints and hatred people have bestowed upon this controller. Complaints being, oh, it's too big and large for my tiny white girl pussy. But anyway, I believe a lot of those complaints came from the Asian market. The controller isn't as unusable as some people claim. My 9-year-old nephew with hands this big manages to use it, and I honestly don't even think it's the worst controller out there. But to be honest, as controversial as it may seem, I think this controller could be the best option for some people. Now don't crucify me for this, but this controller is great for people with Shaq level hands, or just general big hands, I guess. In that scenario, it actually becomes the best controller. But speaking of Shaq, fun fact, Shaquille O'Neal actually said this was his favorite controller in an IGN video where they gave him a bunch of other controllers such as Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, a PS4 controller, etc.
I like it.
How's that feel for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Good triggers, good buttons.
Wait.
This is one of the biggest controllers ever on like the consumer market.
Say turbo.
Turbo.
Yeah, I like it.
You just unlocked yourself in the video game.
It's a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10,
Yeah,
I like that.
But yeah, the Duke controller totally has a place in the modern setting. Xbox has a controller that suits the big boys, while Sony and Nintendo don't. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the second half of this video with a mini review of how I myself can handle this controller. Here's the size of my hands despite me not being a mega big boy. Now keep in mind I've been using the version of the controller that they released to work on the Xbox One, which is practically identical to the original version for the original Xbox, with the only difference being that they added bumpers and a dashboard button with this cool light that plays the original Xbox intro. I haven't had much problems using this controller as well as the standard controller. I will admit it's slightly less comfortable, but not any less functional, apart from this one gimmick that wouldn't apply to the average gamer / consumer, and that gimmick is called claw gripping. For those of you who don't know the gaming term, it's when you use your index finger to press buttons so that you never have to remove your thumb from the right analog stick, therefore making you better at jumping and shooting at the same time. I do this in a lot of the Battlefront games I play, but the main point is that my hands can't claw grip on the Duke too well without hurting over time. My puny ultimate hands can't handle the big black controller. Although I'm pretty sure if Shaq was a gamer who claw gripped, he'd love it. But yeah, apart from the claw gripping issue, I've had no problems using it on titles such as original Battlefront 2, Lego games, Hydra Thunder, and Friday the 13th. If you're a big boy with big hands, then this controller gets my badass seal of approval. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ultimate Defenses. Check out my channel for more gaming videos such as my first episode of Ultimate Rants where I ranted about the Xbox One controller reliability. By the way, the Duke controller has had no wear downs apart from some minor scratches on the dashboard button that was probably caused by my nephews. And I had this controller since around its release. I also have raw gameplay videos and funny short edits. Check out my Instagram to be notified on this content. But yeah, check all this out before I bring down the force of God on your little boy wrist.